We all know Disney at this rate, and we all know just how great some of their past original experiences really were without the need to rely on sequels, series, or big IP slop. That had a huge impact in the golden age of 2D animation, but then Pixar suddenly came along with its revolutionary 3D animation, and Disney itself didn't feel the need to be like itself again. Until 2016, when we saw the release of Zootopia, a massive cultural phenomenon across the world with its 1 billion box office smash. Combined with its critically acclaimed status, this movie is now a rivalry for the crown as one of the greatest animated movies of all time, even going as far as to be as close to a classic Pixar movie as you could want. It's so good that has to be said from start to finish. So, how did Disney successfully succeed in Pixar's classic footsteps? Why was it a massive success that is all original? And what thought-provoking questions does it ask alongside its massive world building? In today's movie review, I'll be talking about the 2016 animated treat, Zootopia. This movie does a lot to stand out from its competitors, so hop aboard the bunny train. First of all, this movie's world building has some extreme potential and is all in all massive to look at. While yes, many Disney movies in the past offer world building that is set beautifully for the setting, this movie has locations that just keep on giving with more places being placed along, which makes it a very imaginative experience with a city full of animals. It's not just some dumb city with animals, it's like a zoo full of animals in a giant city, hence the name Zootopia. And it goes on to create different distinct climates to match the different places that are seen in the film. You have the icy and cold feeling of Tundra Town, the humid and damp feeling of the Rainforest District, the miniature and squeezy feeling of Little Rodendia, and the list goes on and on. The little attention to detail makes the entire film very realistic, and it is so massive that it makes you want to go there yourself to see how it truly functions. The animation itself is absolutely gorgeous, something also to be expected from Disney, especially from the critically acclaimed famed era of Pixar. This is the most gorgeous looking animated movie I've seen in a while. It looks extremely nice in HD graphics, with all of its characters having very distinct facial expressions to give them a human personality. The colours on the cities and places are nicely detailed and look so much better than earlier 3D works, and the visual style itself blends greatly with realism and cartoony tonal shifting. As with every animal character portrayed in the movie, that was an extremely difficult but also a very important task to be accomplished, as to make the fur look very realistic, Disney engineers introduced new software for its time, that being called iGroom, a shampoo texture that helped place millions of individual hairstyles on over 800,000 of its animal characters, with only a few being easy to animate since they'd require the least amount of work to be done. There's a reason why this movie won Best Animated Feature at the 89th Academy Awards. The characters in this movie are extremely enjoyable, with the personalities making them a very scene-stealing moment. But let's be real, Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde are an instant classic buddy cop duo that gives the film main emotional heart and core values. They have some very strong chemistry that makes them instantly likable the moment you see them both on screen. Their relationship is well earned here, not just because they learn how to get along or something cliche like that. They challenge their worldviews, in many ways than one, and force one another to grow throughout the story, finding their place in the imaginary world of Zootopia by solving plenty of cases. The voice acting is also really great, and there are some very clever celebrity cameos that one would immediately recognize from their voices. It's not just Judy and Nick that steal the show. There's plenty of charm to get to some other of the characters like Chief Bogo, Benjamin Clohosa, Leodore Lionheart, and the film's main antagonist, Dawn Bellwether. For a movie so thought-provoking, it's filled to the brim with awesome themes and messages. It answers thought-provoking questions for people of all ages, especially social issues that resonate very well with audiences. Simple animistic movies have messages that rely on friendship and teamwork, but while this movie has those similar ingredients, it does something a little bit different for the viewers. Tackling the system bias with prejudice being baked into society even amongst well-meaning individuals, as you see with the characters and the complex relationships. It also flips typical expectations that you'd normally see, so as an example, Nick is the sly fox that is a victim for his reputations, and Judy thinks she's just some dumb bunny, but actually is the smartest in any area. And it also uses fear in a very great way as to tackle communities and divide them, since normally it's used generatively, but instead is used as power. Some additional messages that are seen in film are following your dreams and being who you want to be, both again as you see with Judy. Lastly, this movie's funny moments manage to come off as funny, smart, clever, and a very good treat for all ages. It manages to blend adult elements while still giving kids some laughs. My favourite scene by far was with the sloths. That scene in particular in the DMV is quite literally the greatest in the film with its comedy timing, as it's not only super accurate, but it's grouped with sloths. They are literally moving at the speed of a sloth, but oh wait, they are sloths. How funny is that? This movie also manages to do pop culture correctly, as many movies today use it as an excuse when they are trying to be smart, but because this movie is set in an animalistic world, it adds twists to the branding, with popular brands being instead turned into animal-like products, and there are bootleg Disney movies to poke fun at the company along with its meta humour, all being extremely clever and not forced. Alongside its lightheartedness, it blends some emotion as well, making the characters' arc really punch you right in your heart. It's not only funny, but it's relatable, smart, and just an all-around great experience that earned its spot as one of Disney's greatest 3D works. Zootopia is just an absolute joy to watch. I loved every last minute and bit of it. The world building is really stunning and is massive to the point of being very imaginative. The animation is absolutely gorgeous and very expected for a Disney experience. The characters are awesome and one would for sure fall in love with the movie's buddy cop duo. It has awesome themes and messages with thought-provoking questions. And the humour is bang on great and spot on with meta and commentary. Additionally, the music by Michael Giacchino is really catchy, and he manages to make it very Pixar-like, akin to his previously composed animated movies, and it blends emotion with plenty of heart. Finally, something other than Pixar that could be a rival to the greatness of 3D animation works. This is a definite example that not only shows Disney at its finest, but also how it can perfectly make something that rivals the classic works done by none other than Pixar. It was so good that Disney was interested in making a sequel which, while it isn't quite as good as this one, still manages to be an extremely well made experience with all but the greater elements that made this one such a delight to watch. Zootopia is one of the very finest original creations by Disney that deserves every treat it is offered by its audience and the huge impact that it left on the animation company. Hopping around with its state-of-the-art animation, imaginative world building, and thought-provoking subject matter, the smart, sweet, and witty Zootopia is an animalistic treat for the whole family. My final score for this 3D Disney original is a 10 out of 10 and a grade S. Probably one of the best movies from the animation company, and also a definite example of not having to be like Pixar to deliver an outstanding original experience. When this movie first came out, I was extremely hooked. At the same time when Pixar didn't have that original charisma anymore, Disney itself was more than able to give us something fresh and also entertaining all the same. I just wish that Disney movies today were something like this instead. But with that being said, leave a like on this video if you guys did enjoy my review on Zootopia. And also remember to subscribe if you are new and hit that bell icon to see more content on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Take care of yourselves.